Classic. I'm Kathy Coslett. We are here in the studios of the Culinary Arts Institute at Luzerne County Community College in Nanticoke, and certified executive chef Dave Pembleton.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. I'm sure you recognize Dave. He's here with us because he has a couple recipes to share, but we also want to talk a little bit about the Culinary Institute and how one enters into the program here.
There's many different people that enter the program. Some people are right out of high school who want to become chefs. They come here for the associate's degree. Some people who just want to learn a few new tricks. We have people here 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, yes, 80 years old.
Get out, really?
Coming to take some of our classes.
How about that?
Yeah, so it's a very hands-on, and we eat well, and everything that we prepare, we get to eat or take home.
So I was going to say, 80 years old, there's help for me. My family won't be able to benefit by me finally being able to cook wonderfully, but whatever.
And when they come here, I think that they're a little apprehensive at first.
I bet.
But after being here just for a few classes, they become very comfortable, and they become, at ease in the kitchen. And I think that that's one of the points we want to point out here with the show is cooking's not very difficult. It's very basic stuff. And by having some of these shows and having people come to the Institute, they see that, hey, they can do that stuff. Okay. And they become very successful, and they just can't wait to come for another class.
What kind of classes are they taking?
Well, depends what their major course of study is, but for the most part, if they're culinary students, they start with the basics of culinary, and then we have a class on meat analysis, and one on seafood itself, one on soup and sauce, one on breakfast and lunch. And if over on the pastry side, we start with the introduction to pastry. We go to breakfast pastries. We go to cakes and cake decorating, chocolates and chocolate decoration, and showpieces. So it has the whole gamut.
Yeah, it really does. And how long should someone anticipate spending here at the Culinary Institute?
Well, an associate's degree takes 2 years if you're diligent, and if you take 2 courses over the summer. You can finish in 2 years, and we have many students that do that. Some other people who are not in that fast track, it might take a little longer.
All right. Yeah. Now, he mentioned the key words. A little seafood, I think you talked about in that. So when we return, we are going to take a look, and we're going to cook up a little bit of Oysters Rockefeller and Clams Casino.
Great.
We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Janet, and I'm a culinary student at Luzerne County Community College. My tip of the day is how to properly clean a pork tenderloin. Pork tenderloin is a very versatile cut of meat. It is high in protein, nutritional, it is very tender, and a great source of protein. When you purchase a pork tenderloin, it has to be cleaned to remove those pieces of meat which are not edible. Those would be layers of fat and silver skin. The layers of fat can be actually peeled off with your fingertips. The silver skin, which this is the layer under the fat, this is a very fibrous band. It's white, silvery in color, and it is connective tissue. This is very tough. It does not break down during cooking, and it's almost gristle-like in nature. In order to clean it, you need to get your boning knife and go into the meat underneath the silver skin. You want to wiggle your knife, get it as close to the silver skin as possible, angle the knife kind of towards the surface of the meat and angle it upwards, and then peel back on the silver skin. And you go in with the other, again, there's silver skin all over the tenderloin. So you need to go in, jiggle your knife, and again, you're kind of peeling it. You're peeling it off. And once all the silver skin and the fat is removed, and you have a clean piece of tenderloin, then you could cut this into medallions. You can use it for stir fry. You can cut it into pieces, butterfly it, and bake it. You can broil it, braise it, or grill it. I hope this demonstration helps you in learning how to clean a pork tenderloin. This is my tip of the day. Bon appetit.
Hello and welcome to Cooking Classic. I'm Kathy Coslett and we are here in the studios of the Culinary Arts Institute at Luzerne County Community College. I'm with Certified Executive Chef Dave Pembleton, and he's doing something a little bit different tonight. We've never really done this on Cooking Classic. We're doing Oysters Rockefeller and Clams Casino, and Dave's actually going to start off by cleaning these mollusks.
Mollusks, yes. These are bivalve mollusks, which mean that they have two shells, and they have soft inner bodies and hard outer shells, but they grow in the sand and the dirt, so you have to clean them. So I take a little, I guess, nail brush, I guess is what you would call it, in a little bit of water here, and you really want to scrub these pretty well, okay? So we're just going to go through. Now the oysters are much dirtier than the clams.
Yeah, you can
so we're going to take we're going to take a little bit more time doing that. Yeah. And one other thing about these things, they're alive. And a lot of people don't know that, okay? So we're going to be opening these, and you can't get fresher than that.
No, you can't. And so really we find out which ones are truly alive in the cooking process.
Right, and one thing I like to do, Kathy, too, is when they come in, if the shells are open at all, I tap them. And if they don't close back up, it's a pretty good indication that they're getting a little bit old, okay?
All right.
And another thing I do is I tap them together, and if they sound like two marbles, you know, clacking together, then I know they're nice and fresh because the muscle inside is still alive. So if you tap them, you hear they sound like two rocks, you know that they're good to go.
Well, that's a great tip.
Right, and they, I think the best clams come from around the New England area. I think that they're the best. They come from a lot of coasts all around the world, but I think in North America that we have the best ones.
And you like this size as opposed to the real tiny ones or the larger?
Yeah, for casino, I like to use what's called a middle neck, which is, you know, kind of a medium-sized clam. The small ones, if I'm using, if I'm making some steamers, I like the what are called little necks, the very smallest ones, okay? So again, you really do need to take some time to clean these. And you have to watch the shells too on the oysters. The shells on the oysters can be a little sharp.
I was just going to say that. That's happened to me in the past, to get little cuts.
Yeah, and you could actually get cut, and they're a little bit intimidating to open. But when I show you how to, I think that you're going to be...
This one looks like a face.
Yeah, a lot of them look like a lot of things. And they even grow on each other. Sometimes it's even hard to find, hey, where's the hinge where we're actually going to open this one up, okay? And you can see as we're cleaning these, there's a lot of dirt in the water now.
Yeah, they really are. Look at the difference in the water with the oyster.
Okay, we're going to open the clams first, okay? Now, to open this clam, you have a clam knife, okay? And it's kind of like a butter knife that's a little sharper than a butter knife, okay? And there's like a little seam here in the clam. And we're going to put the knife right there, and we're going to press.
Now, you have to be pretty careful, though.
Yeah, you have to be, you know, as long as you get that clam knife nice and straight, you won't have any problems.
Okay, there you go.
And it opens right up, okay? And then what I do is I try to save the juice, because as it's cooking, it makes a little sauce. For the clams, okay? And usually for an order of Clams Casino, I would probably open about 6 of them, okay? So we're going to take 6 nice size ones, okay? Like so. Now sometimes people order clams on the half shell. What clams on the half shell mean is you just open them just like this, and you put them on a bed of ice and serve them with cocktail sauce, serve them raw. Okay. That's what clams on the half shell mean, okay? But we're not making that tonight. But I would use the same. That's good. I would use the same size clams for that. And some people really like them.
It's funny. I like raw oysters, but I'm not crazy about raw clams.
Yeah, raw clams. They're a little more chewy. Okay, and I think that they're a little stronger. And every once in a while, because these things don't want to really be opened, you might find that you break a shell.
Well,
but
you
it's
could
okay.
switch it out too if
just
you
switch it
really
out.
wanted to.
If I ever had to open, like, sometimes out in the industry, you have to open 1,000 of these. If I had to open 1,000 of
Gloves.
them, I clean them really good. I put them on a sheet pan. I put them in the freezer. And I don't freeze them, but right before they freeze, they kind of like go to sleep. Then they're very easy to open.
Oh, really?
So that's a little trick.
So the mussel.
So the mussel kind of goes to sleep.
Yeah.
And
how
it's
about
very
that?
much easier to open. Okay, so that's the clams. Now the oysters
Now
are a little
we know
harder.
why we keep inviting him.
The oysters are a little harder. Okay, and you can see I'm going to use a little bit different of a knife here. This is a clam knife. See how straight the edge is and it's thin? This one's not so. This one's thick and it's got a point on the end.
All right.
And I suggest using this knife. Don't try to use.
Get this out of the way to make
Don't
sure
try to
we
use
can
anything else. I've tried to open oysters with a can opener and with a screwdriver, and hence
Oh
the
my
scar.
goodness.
Okay, so you wanna be careful. So I place the towel around the oyster.
Keep your local restaurant in business. Let them do it.
Right.
How's that?
And you see what you do is you kind of open them up. You kind of.
Oh, how about
it's
that?
kind of like twisting and pushing at the same time. Okay. And sometimes it takes a lot of pressure
I can see that.
to get them to come open.
There you
Okay.
go.
And then you
Okay.
kind of loosen them up just like I did the clam.
That one looks really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of juice in that one.
Now be
Okay?
careful because I like raw oysters, so you know you
Well,
might be missing one.
That's okay.
2 extra clams, 1 less oyster.
And like I said, you know, you have to be very careful.
Yeah, that looks
And that's
really.
why I'm using
yeah,
this towel.
that's tough.
I'm
That's
using this
tough.
towel. I mean, it's a lot of pressure to get them open, but
It's worth it, right? In the
I
end,
think
because
it
they
is.
really are good,
they're like a treasure.
and they're good for you. Correct.
As far as I know, they are very good for you.
Yeah.
So that's how you open up these mollusks, the oysters, and the clams. I just thought it would be interesting to
It
show
is.
people at home how to do
Yeah.
that, what knife to use, and what technique to use.
That was terrific. Thank you very much. And don't go away because the next step, we're just getting closer to eating these. We'll see you in just a minute.
Are you looking for a college that's right for you? Luzerne County Community College has more than 100 majors to choose from, convenient class times, and many online courses. Transfer your degree and continue your education at a 4-year college. Work with modern equipment found in the professional world, all at the area's lowest tuition. Make it happen at Luzerne County Community College.
Thanks for joining us, and if you just tuned in, this is Cooking Classic. I'm with Executive Chef Dave Pembleton, and we're about to make the stuffing for Oysters Rockefeller and Clams Casino. We've cleaned the clams and the oysters, and Chef Dave has opened them. I did not help with that, and we're about to make the stuffing.
Okay, great. So in a saute pan here, Kathy, we're going to start with a little bit of oil.
Okay.
Again, vegetable oil, because it has a high smoking point.
Okay.
Now, we've got 2 different cuts of bacon here. This is like a minced bacon, and then I've got a bacon that's going to go on the top of the clams that I'm not going to put in quite yet. Okay. So we're going to let this render. What rendering means, for those of you who might not know, is we want to cook out the white fat of the bacon. Okay. And it's going to release some of the oil, which is going to help us when we're going to try to make the stuffing. So you don't want to cook it till it's brown, but you want to cook it till that white fat starts to disappear. And again, I have my trusty old wooden spoon.
And it doesn't look like it's going to take very long
It
for
won't.
that to happen.
No, it won't take very long when you have a nice high heat. And starting with that little bit of
look
oil,
at it.
helps that that fat start to fry.
It looks
As you can see, it's starting to caramelize just a little bit. That white fat starting to disappear, and we have a lot more. Fat in the pan, so to speak.
That's another one of those foods that just smells so good cooking, doesn't it?
Bacon. There's just
know, it's
nothing. There's nothing
amazing.
like pork fat rolls, that kind of thing. So I really think it flavors things really nicely.
And people love it, right? It's in chocolate, it's in ice cream, it's in everything.
It's in everything. Now you can see the
Yeah,
bacon is not
it
quite
looks great.
brown, but we're going to put the vegetables in now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
As you can see, We've diced the vegetables nice and fine. And by putting the vegetables in now, it takes the heat of the pan down a little bit.
Okay.
So things don't burn. Everything's getting happy. Okay, I like the colors.
Getting happy.
Okay, the nice colors. And we're going to cook these peppers and these onions. And whatever other colored peppers you wanted to put in there, you could put in there. Yellow and orange, whatever. I just like the colors of them. And they emit a nice sweet flavor. Okay, and we're going to cook them till they're pretty tender.
Yeah, it looks good.
I don't like them to be crunchy.
Yeah, especially for what you're going to use them for.
Right. Now, if I was going to make a whole lot of these, I would take butter first, and I would soften the butter.
Okay.
And I would make a lot of this, and I would make a casino butter. And then I would just put the casino butter on the clams, then the breadcrumbs on the top.
Oh, all right.
But since we're just cooking to order here, we'll just do it this way. Just want to let you know that there's ways to do things at home, and there's also ways to do things
in the
for commercial,
right.
you know, for when you have to do a lot of it. Okay. Okay. Now I think that's pretty well
really
done.
Good.
Okay, and it's smelling good. Can you smell
that?
It
Great.
Okay, we're going to turn that off, and now I'm going to put a little bit of breadcrumb in there.
All right.
Okay, just unseasoned, just regular plain old breadcrumb. Okay, and all we're going to do is we want that to kind of suck up some of that fat, that oil. Okay, and that's going to help the breadcrumb turn nice and brown in the oven.
Look at that. That looks terrific.
And that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to put just a little bit more. And I think that because we want it to kind of like adhere together. We want it to kind of stick together into the clams when we stuff them. Okay. So I think, and if you press on it with the spoon, you can tell that it's going to do that. Okay. So that is the stuffing for the casino, which is going to go inside of the clams. Now this stuffing for Oysters Rockefeller is a little bit different. Okay. It's a little different and employs different ingredients. If you like spinach and those types of things, I think that you'll really like this.
Yeah, I do a lot.
Okay?
Yeah, this is terrific.
Could I have that
oil,
please? We're going to start again with a little bit of oil. Vegetable oil is fine. Along with this oil, we're going to put what's called shallots, which is kind of like a cross between a garlic and an onion. I always mince it. I cut it very, very fine. We're just going to saute this in the pan a little bit.
And is this one of those things too, is really, it just depends on your taste how much you would like to use?
I think so.
Yeah. Could you use garlic, or could you use just onion if you wanted to?
You could use garlic, you could use onion. Some people like to use fennel.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, they slice it really, really fine, and it kind of tastes like licorice, because the next thing I'm going to put in here is a licorice flavored liqueur called anisette.
Oh, there we go.
You have to be careful, because there's some alcohol in it, and you have to kind of have to stand back from that. Okay. Like so.
You know, isn't it funny that no matter how many times that gets done, it's still exciting, isn't it?
People just love that. Okay. Now I'm going to put a couple of handfuls of spinach here, baby spinach. The reason I like to use baby spinach is because you don't have to clean those gnarly stems out of there.
Gnarly.
Because they're like dental floss. I mean, if you don't clean them, they get caught in your teeth. But the baby spinach kind of it cooks down nicely, and you don't have to do that.
That smells so
Does it smell good?
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, like so. And you can smell that anisette a little bit. You can smell the shallots.
It's really, really good.
Now we're going to put one of my favorite things in the world, heavy cream.
Heavy cream. I knew you were going to say that.
And can you substitute anything else?
No, you can, but
I'm not. You can. Some people, if they're really
what
concerned,
a rebel.
Right.
There we go.
If they're really concerned about health, you know, maybe don't eat this dish. Or I think you could substitute. The only thing that gives you a close mouthfeel is yogurt.
Oh, all right.
You could use a little bit of yogurt if you wanted to instead of the heavy cream. And then maybe a little bit more seasoning.
Yeah.
So as you can see, what we want to do now is we want to reduce that, because as it reduces, that cream is going to get thicker.
Yeah.
The flavors inside are going to intensify, and then we're going to use this to stuff inside of the oysters.
There we go. And then if people could actually see this, they would just eat that with the heavy cream. There would be no question.
And I'll tell you, you could actually throw some pasta in here. This is a great sauce for pasta.
Yeah, it really looks good.
So.
Okay, step 3, when we return.
Okay.
See you in a minute. Moment we've all been waiting for. We're finally going to make these. Clams Casino and Oysters Rockefeller. It's kind of funny, I told Chef Dave before, I got a little mixed up before and it almost came out of my mouth, right? Clams Rockefeller and Oysters Casino. So whatever you want to do, it's a fair game.
You could actually interchange them that way, so
okay.
It's really not that big of a deal.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to take a spoon, okay?
Yes.
And what I like to do is I just like to take the clam right to the stuffing, okay?
Okay.
And I'm just going to put that right on the top like so.
Now you left a little of the juice from when you opened the clams on this plate, correct?
Right.
And you did that for a reason.
Yeah, it helps to steam the clams, and at the very end, it helps create a little bit of sauce.
Okay.
And I really like the flavor of it. Okay, it's a little briny, a little salty, and kind of the sea. Yeah, I really, really do like that. Okay.
So don't throw all of that juice out.
Yeah, we don't waste anything, right? We have a use for everything.
You make all of this look so easy.
Well, I've done this a few times, so you know when you do things a few times, it does get a little easier. I think it helps. You know, if you're a little on the organized
side, yeah. But you are really big on that.
Yeah, we try it. We call that in school. We call that mise en place.
Mise en place.
You know, having everything that you need in before you start to cook, and I think it makes things a lot easier.
Well, yeah, you're not running all over the kitchen. You're not burning things because you're running all over the kitchen.
Right. And then, Kathy, after, can you hand me that bacon there?
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is my timing device.
Oh, okay.
I cut a piece of bacon. Well, it gives flavor to the top of the clam. It also gives texture by getting crunchy, and it also lets me know.
What are you doing?
Yeah, sure.
When it's finished, when the bacon's cooked.
Yeah, when the bacon
finished,
is cooked through, and nice and brown on the top.
Do you want me to break this one?
No, I think that we're going to have just enough.
Okay,
there you go.
terrific.
If you can do that one, last one there.
Okay, got it.
Okay, now we can put this over there, Kathy, if you could. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Now those Clams Casino are ready to go into the oven, and now we can stuff up the oysters. Okay. Okay.
This looks so good. I'm sorry. I know I keep saying that. Don't get annoyed with me. I can't help it.
Now we're gonna try to get some of the spinach and some of the cream on every oyster. Okay. And I think that the spoon helps you gauge that. Okay. Because you don't want it to be overly stuffed. Because what happens is it just leaks all over.
Well, I was just going to say, and how do you eat it nicely?
Right.
If it's like that as well.
Like so. And we've made a couple of extra here. Usually I would serve 6 of these for an order. It's usually an appetizer. But since we thought that maybe we'd want to have a couple more, we made a couple more.
That was very nice of you. Very diplomatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
He even used the word we.
Right. There we go.
All right.
You can see we have just about enough stuffing.
We do.
For all of our oysters.
Okay.
And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to top these with cheese.
Cheese. Everybody loves cheese, right?
I'm using a cheddar cheese tonight.
Okay.
Gruyere cheese would work. Fontina cheese would work.
Oh, that's a good cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, I love Fontina cheese. Smoked Gouda cheese.
Okay.
Anything with nice melting properties. If you don't have anything else, Swiss would work. Some people put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top at the very end, but I myself am not going to do that. Okay. Now, so now you can see this is what they look like before they go into the oven. Now I bake these at about 400 degrees, and I think they're going to take about 14 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
But the oysters, we're going to look for the cheese to get blistered and brown, and for that liquid to be bubbling. Okay. And the casino, we're going to look for the liquid to be bubbling and the bacon to be nice and brown. Right. On the top. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put these in the oven.
I got the door. I'm not dropping your masterpiece.
There you go.
So I'll get the door.
Okay.
No, really, I'll help you
And you can
here.
put the
right
casino
next to it.
in.
And away we go.
That's it.
Okay. Don't go away. You're going to want to sample this when we return. See you in a few minutes. We're glad you stayed with us because we're about to take our Clams Casino and Oysters Rockefeller out of the oven and give them a taste.
Okay, we'll pull the
that looks delicious.
oysters out first.
Very nice.
So the cheese is blistering.
Did I doubt? I don't want to touch that, but I want to move these lemons out of the way.
There we go.
Oh, that looks incredible.
And these are the clams. Okay?
Okay.
Like so. We'll close this up. Now, just take a plate like so.
Okay.
And then we'll just place them onto our plate.
They look really nice.
Well, thank you.
Great job there, Chef
Thank you.
Dave.
Yeah, we worked together as a team and we did a really good job. Right? Like so.
Thank you.
Okay.
You couldn't have done it without me, right?
That's right. That's right. Okay, and we're going to put one of these over there for someone to taste.
Okay.
And then we're going to put one of these right here. And then if I were going to garnish that, Kathy, I would just take a couple of lemon twists like we have here, and I'll put them right on the side. And I think that's all that dish really needs.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Well, thank you.
There you go. How about that?
That's the Clams Casino.
Terrific.
And then the Oysters Rockefeller.
These are my favorites, so to me these look even better.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're a little expensive, but I think that
it's a treat.
They're worth it.
Right?
Yeah. And Kathy, let me see your little plate there. I'm going to give you the nicest one.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
And we're going to shake, and this makes a little bit of sauce there.
At that. Okay.
I'm going to put that on the drizzled on the oysters like so. And if you can put those, lemons on there.
Okay. Sure.
There you go. Perfect.
And there we are. How about that, everybody?
And there's our
Isn't that amazing?
And our oysters.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy, because I know you're going to try this at home. Why not? So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Cooking Classic.
Okay.
All right, this one would be yours.
All right.